Oh, okay. That's fine. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Double Dribble Podcast. This is episode 12. It's our season preview. We got some special guests here. We got my boy Cecil,
What's up? What's up?
King Cecil on Instagram. We can put that in the description on YouTube. And we also got my boy Jeremiah. It's Smart B-Ball Takes on TikTok. Appreciate y'all coming on. As always, I'm Destin.
And I'm Drew.
That's Drew right there. So, yeah, man, we can get right into it. So this episode is just going to be about our season predictions, who we think gonna make the playoffs and the play-in, our award predictions for this upcoming season. If any of y'all have any like bold predictions on who y'all think gonna win, like the scoring championship, or who gonna break out this season, you can mention that as well. And we also gonna give our super early predictions for who we think gonna make the NBA finals. All right, bet. Yeah, we good now. All right, so I want to go first. I think we should let our guests go first with that.
I knew you was gonna do
with
that.
I said that. With our playoff season. So yes, Jeremiah, you can go first with the East. Who you think gonna be throughout the first 10 seedings, or you can go 10 and up if you want. However you choose.
Yeah, I'll go bottom and top. I'll start with 10 in the East. Just barely making the play-in. I got the Knicks. I just feel like they're maybe just a tish more talent than all the other teams that got below them, but I just don't feel like they're gonna have enough. I like the Jalen addition. I'm not a Julius Randle fan. At 9, I got the Bulls. I'm worried about Lonzo and his health. I think last year you saw those Bulls teams kind of go as Lonzo went. I felt like when he was on his game, when he was playing well, they were really good, and then he got hurt and they kind of fell off. He has some injury stuff going on this summer. I'm not super sure about that. Caruso's not always healthy. At 8, I got the Hawks. I like the DeJounte Murray fit. From what I've seen in the preseason, though, I'm not convinced how much that moves the needle as far as winning. And the East happens to be super tough this year. That's part of it.
How about we do each pick and we each give all our pick, and then we go to the next seed and each give all our pick. And we could talk about any thoughts we have on that pick or that team, or how about we do that? What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, in the East, finishing 10th, just barely making the play-in. I got the Knicks. I love the Jalen addition, but ultimately I feel like they had that one real outlier year. Last year was probably a lot closer to how they should be as a team.
All right, Cecil, so who you got with your 10th pick?
I got the same team as at 10 pick. I like Jalen addition. I have not been liking Julian Randle. I just feel like ever since he had the little, breakout season, he feel like he one of those LeBron James type guys. And I'm just not really big on Julian Randle as like a star of a team, quote unquote.
Man, Julius Randle be taking some of the worst shots, I swear.
Yeah.
He got some of the worst shot selection in NBA. He's like power forward Westbrook. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Man.
Yeah, so for my 10th pick, I actually had the Washington Wizards. I think that having Bradley Beal coming back, Bradley Beal hasn't played with Porzingis. They made that trade last year for Spencer Dinwiddie. I think Kuzma is becoming a better, smarter player. I think he's going to play a huge role. They also have Rui Hachimura coming back. He missed a lot of last season. I think they have a nice squad. They traded for Will Barton. They went and got Monte Morris as well. I think I like the pieces, not that they're going to be like home wreckers or anything, but I think they can be a viable team that can make the play in. I think that's I like that roster, and they still have Daniel Gafford as well, who I really like.
Yeah, I actually also had the Wizards as well. It's mostly because I just think that it was a midseason trade last year with Porzingis. They can get maybe more time to gel together, him and Bradley Beal. Also, I think that if they could at least get 60, 65 games out of Porzingis, that would be a huge difference. I think they were 2 games behind the Knicks last year. I know the Knicks got Brunson, but I feel like KP could have a bigger impact. They won 35 games. But yeah, I think it's just barely, but I'd probably put them just over the Knicks. I'd probably have the Knicks like right behind them.
All right.
Okay. At ninth, I got the Bulls, mostly because I'm just worried about Lonzo's health. Last year, they kind of went as he went. When he was really good, when he was hooping, they was hooping. When he got injured, they kind of started to fall off. So,
I mean, I pretty much agree. I also have the Bulls at ninth, and it's same thing with Lonzo. We don't know when he's going to come back. I think they said it's going to be, like 2 months or something like that he's going to be out for?
Nah, they haven't even given a timetable.
It's indefinitely. Like he don't even have a timetable right now.
So at least 2 months.
yeah.
But yeah. So and we know like last year they were like a top 10 defense. Him and Caruso both got hurt. They went all the way to like bottom five.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like, and that's two perimeter defenders. Like usually you see that with like a rim protector, but they go all the way like the worst.
It's pretty rare that you have your guards anchor your defense like the Bulls. They did just pick up Andre Drummond, who could help out a lot with the defense and rebounds. But same, I got the Bulls. Bulls one of my favorite team. What'd you say, Drew?
Did y'all see in the preseason Drummond shooting threes?
I'm like, what is he was hitting them too.
He was his shot actually looked pretty good. Like I was like, what?
Yeah, it did. And you know what I did? I mentioned Ben Simmons. I said, what's your excuse, Ben Simmons?
I'm like, how did Drummond come out from the offseason and he got a 3-point shot and Ben Simmons still can't shoot free throws? Come on, man. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm the same. I have Chicago at 9.
Yeah, I mean,
it's Lonzo, of course.
Yeah, I'm also worried about because last year DeMar was going crazy. Can he repeat that? I mean, they kind of leaned heavily on that too. That he had a really great year as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he'll be back though, because Patrick had missed most of the season with the wrist injury.
He missed majority of the season. He came back toward the end. He should be more improved. I want to see how they use him, but I think you have to. DeMar has to have his touches. Levine has to have his touches. Vooch has to have his touches. So it's gonna be hard to see what Pat Will can really be unless he just take the reins over. I think the Bulls they still have talent. They still have Ayo Dosunmu, who I like, but it's just tough missing a piece like Lonzo, who's like one of the best 3-and-D players like you have in the league. Like he can play great perimeter defense and shoot by like 43% on high volume threes. Like, and you losing a guy like that, it's tough. And we seen what happened when they lost that guy. I mean, I have them at 9th as well. Not to say they can't win a couple playing games, because they do have that star power. But as for now, I see them dropping off, especially the fact that the East got better. So,
one thing I want to say is, and I think I mentioned this to you before, Destin. This Eastern Conference to me is the most deep Eastern Conference probably since I've been watching basketball.
Yeah,
in the NBA.
I agree.
Yeah, it's really good.
Try and think about it. Like when have we ever seen the East be this good?
The East used to be like not dog water, but like
they were. I used to call them the Eastern Conference. That's what it used to be.
They were. What
used to be the East elite. No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
honestly, think about it. It might. I mean, we might be talking about. Are we talking about 90s? Like, when was the last time they were this good? For real.
It's been.
Like, I think this is even better than.
Yeah. Like, are we talking about? Because back in the 90s, they.
Now they better. I think they're better than when Mike was in the 90s. I think so.
Yeah,
because like the top, like it's not even just the top 4 or 5. We like even 6, 7, 8. These are all gonna be decent teams.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yep.
Usually, like in the past,
5 teams who can represent the East in the NBA Finals.
I agree.
And in the past, usually in the East, we would see like the 6, 7, 8 teams would be like right at like 5.
Yeah, they'll be at
below 500.
Like in the West, you out the playoffs, but in the East, you making it.
It's one of us is about to surprise everybody. I don't think that we have Charlotte even in the playoffs.
They was in my 13. I had them at 13.
I know, and last year they were in the play-in, right? Now they're not even 10th.
Yeah, I had them at 13. So, I think they about to try to get Victor. Him and LaMelo would be. I don't want to see that, but hey,
I think they're gonna be in the Victor sweepstakes for sure.
Yeah, so,
okay,
that was
so
what 9th.
Jeremiah, you can start off with 8th. Well, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, I got 8 in the Eastern Conference. Maybe this is a surprise. I don't know. I got the Hawks. I love the DeJounte Murray addition. I love it. I really do. I just think they're going to be a casualty of a better conference. Like the East just got better as they got better. That's really all I got to say about them. I like them a lot, but I just think the East is getting better around them.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, the other eighth as well. I know everybody's hype on the DeJounte Murray sign. I think that as an improvement, we're going to see Trae Young probably having a more efficient season. And not like he wasn't efficient last year, but I think it's going to make him have to work less offensively. And I just don't think that as far as defensively, I don't know if that's going to be a big enough improvement for them.
Yeah,
He's a really good perimeter defender, but is he going to make them an elite defense? No. Are they going to be average? I don't know. I think a lot of it's going to rest on how Clint Capella is this year. Like if Capella is what he was 2 years ago for them, if he can get back to that, because I know he had like an injury last year. If he can get back to that, then and it's a whole other story. They could be a lot higher from him. But right now, even with DeJounte, the whole Eastern Conference seemed like they got better to me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I got them at 8th as well.
Yeah, that's a good pick. For me, for 8th, I have the Raptors. I think like a big reason why I think the Raptors were around like the 5th seed last year. Yeah, a big reason why was that like a number of teams like face health problems, and they did as well too. But like a lot of these teams in the East got better, and I think they're one of the teams who didn't improve on anything. I know they have Scotty Barnes coming. I think they signed Otto Porter, unless I'm missing somebody else in the offseason. But they still have Scotty Barnes, who's going to be a great piece for the future. But I still think they can make the playoffs. They have a good roster. They still have Siakam, who's an all-star caliber player. They have Van Vliet. But, man, that East is something serious, man. And, like, I don't – like, as a Raptors fan, I wouldn't even take that as disrespect for saying them being the 8th seed because they – you know, the East is just a beast. But I still think they're a playoff team.
Tisa, who you got at 8th?
I got Atlanta at 8th. I was torn between the two, them and Toronto, but I got Atlanta at 8th, same reason. Because, I like the DeJounte Murray, addition, but like you said, I don't feel like it's going to make them better on defense or, make them, elite. I feel like it'll be good. It'll be better for Trae Young off ball, but I don't think it's going to, just make them. You still can't hide Trae Young, him not being able to defend, so I got them 8th.
Mm-hmm.
All right, at 7, I got the Raptors. I think Nick Nurse is just one of the best coaches in the league. They're gonna have a great defense. They have every year since he's got there. I just think they're just one of those. They're super long too. They're one of those teams that just I just think they're gonna ride a top probably 10-ish defense right into a 7 seed.
Yeah.
I like the.
I also have.
I was going to say, I like the Otto Porter addition. I think he provides some extra shooting and scoring that they kind of didn't have last year. But same thing, the East just got better around him too.
Yeah. I also have them as well at the 7th spot. I think when you were talking about their coaching, one of the things for me is they've shown, every single year I feel like I underestimate them. I always, kind of have them lower than where they end up finishing.
Like I am right now, maybe.
Yeah, no, and I think it is because of coaching. Because last year, I didn't think they were going to have as good of a season that they did have last year. You look at their roster and you're they find a way to just they always seem to overperform or get the most out of the. Yeah, they play hard. Yeah. They got a lot of sweats on that team, but yeah. So I just think that's the reason why I trust them more than I trust Atlanta to at least be consistent in what we're going to get out of them. I feel like Atlanta they could potentially be 5, 6 maybe if everything goes right. But I don't know. I feel like there's so many variables with them. So that's why I got the Raptors just over them at the 7th spot. And also I think are you good? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Drew.
No, son, you good?
Okay, yeah. So I think we just kind of just flip flop right now because I got Atlanta 7. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Atlanta was 8 and Toronto was 7. I I really like the DeJounte Murray pairing with Trae Young. I think they're going to be one of the best backcourts in the league. I don't think they're top 5, but they're going to help each other in ways that each other struggles in. Like Trae struggles defensively, but DeJounte can be there to pick up that opposing point guard, and this helped the whole Atlanta team. And Trae, he carries a lot on his shoulders, and DeJounte could be there to help alleviate some of the scoring load, some of the touches and the usage and the playmaking. I think Collins and Capella are both going to eat from him. They still have Bogdanovich, who I really like. And they still got Hunter, who's steadily improving. He showed flashes. I think in the postseason against Miami, like he had a great game, and he's like a very talented, underrated
He's gonna
player,
be his season,
in my
right?
opinion.
This is gonna be his breakout.
Yeah,
season,
he faced some injuries, but I really like him as a defender and a shooter and everything. So I think Atlanta they'll firmly be in that 7-8 range for sure. But I got them 7.
And like Jeremiah and Drew, I have Toronto 7. I just, like he said, I trust them more than I trust Atlanta right now. Because at best, like he said, Atlanta can probably sneak like 5, 6. But I like the situation Toronto in with Fred and Siakam and those guys, defensive team. So yeah, I have Toronto 7 too.
And Siakam also showed a lot of improvement last year. Like he was doing some things offensively. Like he could take it.
His
I don't know if he's
playmaking
gonna
was
get that
too.
much better, but yeah.
His playmaking was great.
Yeah,
All right, so
at 6, I got the Cavs. So they obviously the big addition, Donovan Mitchell. I think he's going to make them a lot better, more consistent offensively. I'm a little bit worried about Evan Mobley health-wise. He's had a couple injuries, and he's still. I think this is only his third year.
second year.
So I'm probably a little bit lower on them. Part of me also kind of wants to see it. I think Donovan Mitchell in Utah. A lot of people, if you ask a lot of people, they'll say that he was Utah's best player. I personally think it was Rudy. I think we're about to see maybe why.
It's interesting.
So I'm a little bit lower on Donovan as a player than most people, but I still have the Cavs missing the play-in. They're going to make the playoffs outright. I got them at 6.
Yeah, I also have the Cavs at 6. And on the Donovan Mitchell thing, I kind of agree. I kind of disagree. So I think in the and we're talking about regular season standings. I think in the regular season, absolutely, Gobert is a far more valuable player, clearly more impactful. I would say he's a better regular season player than Donovan Mitchell. I would say in the playoffs, though, I would say Donovan Mitchell's probably a better playoff player. But I mean, you're kind of nitpicking. But for the context of what we're talking about, absolutely, he wasn't the best player on those Jazz teams to me. I think that one of the things I'm worried about with that team and why I'm not as high as everybody else is the defensive problems with that backcourt. Is with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. And Evan Mobley, I'm not gonna go too much into it, but yeah, I am worried as well about his ability to stay on the floor over the course of the season. We're gonna see. But
If y'all didn't know,
Andrew
is an Evan Mobley hater.
No. I'm not a
I
hater.
sensed that though when he said it. I'm like, Andrew,
I'm not a
but you
hater.
not gonna get into.
Hey,
he just skip for Evan
No.
Mobley.
I'm an Evan Mobley critic. I'm not a hater. I'm not a critic.
That's funny. I'm an Evan Mobley
hater.
I'm an Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I'm not a hater. That's too strong.
I'm probably on the other end of that. I'm real high on Evan. I think he's gonna be real something special.
So Des is calling it hate, but really, I don't buy that he's gonna be people start saying he's the next KG, he's the next Tim Duncan. I'm completely I'm on the absolutely not. He's not gonna be that. That's what I'm on. I'm on the more he's gonna be this is to me his ceiling to me or what he's gonna most likely be is a Bam Adebayo level player. I think he's gonna be that kind of guy. Really versatile defensive player, can switch, can guard in the perimeter, can guard in the paint, and he might average 18 to 20 points. I think he could be a strong third option on maybe a contender or championship team. I don't buy him as being a main go-to number one guy, which is what Tim Duncan was in his prime, which is what KG was in his prime, which is what those type of guys are. People are projecting him to be like the next superstar power forward that's going to, be like one of those elite top 5 potential guys. I don't see that.
So this is where I like the KG comparison. I like it because I think he can be your defensive number 1, offensive number 2, which is where I think that's the role that KG's best in. So he can really anchor a defense, be like the main guy that's leading you to have an elite defense, or a defense that vastly outperforms whatever your roster is. Offensively, I agree with you. He's not, I don't want to imagine him being like a 25 a game scorer. But I think if you can be a defensive player of the year level player, which I think he will be in his prime, and then you're averaging, let's say, 18 and 10 with 3-4 assists, I mean, to me, you're probably a top 10 player in the league at that point.
All right. Well, only counter to that. So wouldn't that be like a Bam Adebayo type player? And Bam Adebayo isn't a top 10 player, right? He's not even top 20 probably.
I'm a little bit lower on Bam's defensive impact. I think the versatility looks a little cuter than it actually is.
Okay.
I also think offensively, I'm just not high on Bam as an offensive player. I think his biggest issue is he's not aggressive enough. I think he needs to be looking for a shot more, looking to shoot the ball a little more. I think he settles for a lot more jumpers than maybe he should. Doesn't get to the free throw line a ton. I think his 18 points, I think I read a stat where it's like 77% of his points are assisted. So like, somebody creating a play for him, whether it's Kyle or Jimmy or whoever. So whereas I think Evan is going to have a little bit more juice in that area as far as being able to create his own shot as he develops.
See, that's the part where I disagree. I think that he's also going to be like that too. Like I don't see that go get it. I'm going to go and get put up and take over a game myself kind of. I don't see that from Evan Mobley. Now, maybe he can show it to me. He's still only in his second year, so he has a lot of potential, a lot of time to grow, but I don't know if he has that in him.
Yeah, from a skill set standpoint, I agree with you. I just think, to me, the biggest difference between the two offensively is their mindset. You watch Evan Mobley, like, he's looking to score. I've seen him, 1-2 dribble pull-ups in the 18 feet away from the rim. He's like, just mentality-wise, I like him a little bit more right now. I think that's what's going to raise his ceiling in the long term.
Yeah. I think Evan Mobley is going to be a great player as well. We'll see how he pans out, but I'm more on the Jeremiah. I'm on the optimistic side than like the pessimistic Drew side. But Drew said he still can be like a Bam.
So what kind of player would you compare him to though? You would would you if you were to project out what would you think he's going to reach?
I can see
Best
him
case
being
scenario.
I can see him being
because KG still to me was like a number 1 offensive
Can
option.
I do a combination? Can I do like a combination of some guys? I could see him being like a defensive player of the year, but like a Christian Wood offensively. I can see him he has improved in other areas, but I can see him being very skilled and a better jump shooter and a floor space. He's already a really good passer for his. Not just for his size and position. He's just a great passer.
To me, his best
general.
offensive quality is his passing. To me, that's his best
I agree.
Just in general. And he's his wingspan and everything. Like you saying, like he can be like 18 and 10, but I think just the fact that he's like Bam is like 6'9" doing that. I think if he's 7 feet, he can and with a better jump shot, he has to have a good work ethic and make his game complete. But I can see him being like a force. But he has to want it. Like his potential and defensive abilities are like sky's the limit. So it just depends on his work ethic, but I can see him being like a force offensively, especially if his jump shot and his aggression increases.
Yeah. I think a big part of my question is I think that jump shot, if that jump shot takes a big noticeable leap, then that's going to change a lot. But I'm skeptical on the jump shot. I don't know if he's going to be able to be that kind of shooter.
Yeah, historically, one way, especially for bigs, there's a correlation between how good of free throw shooters they are and how good of shooters that they turn out to be. And last year he was 77%. In college, he was mid-70s, 75, 76, which for centers is in like the 80th percentile. You're better than you're a better free throw shooter than most centers in the league. So I think that's one indicator that I like as far as him being able to develop. I mean, because you got to touch from 15 feet, obviously. I mean, LeBron didn't shoot 77% from the free throw line last year.
It wasn't 77 though. It was 60. He shot 66%
from the free throw line.
66%. Check it.
I thought it was 77. Let me check. If you right, I'll give it to you.
I agree with you. No, I agree with you on that free throw thing, and that's also one of the reasons why I'm skeptical.
66. Oh yeah,
I
thought it was 77.
He shot below 70%.
Hold on, let me look.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
but to your
in the meantime, no, go ahead.
No, Cecil hasn't got a chance to go ahead yet.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't go yet either.
Yeah, we was at 6, right?
We got deep into the
Oh yeah. We had 6.
Yeah, we got deep into Evan Mobley. I didn't even go yet.
Yeah.
But I don't even have Cleveland 6 though. And y'all might be surprised who I have 6, but at 6, I got Miami actually.
Not surprised.
I'm not.
I just think Miami, I don't know. It's just something about like the fact that the East got a lot better. I'm projecting that a lot of teams are going to be healthy this season, but I see like a handful of teams ahead of them. I think. What's Cecil went?
It's good now. You can keep going. We'll bring him back when.
Yeah, but I just see like a handful of teams ahead of them. I think just the fact that they still have Eric Spoelstra, they still have Jimmy Butler, Bam, Tyler Hero, all those pieces who are gritty. They have that heat culture. I think they're still going to be a solidified playoff team who's going to compete with anybody. But yeah, I don't see them having that super strong regular season that they did last year. I think just Jimmy, he's a year older.
Was your 6 Miami?
Yeah, my 6 is Miami.
Oh
yeah,
same. Yeah, I have Miami 6. Yeah, I feel like I like they didn't really improve. Like Kyle Lowry only gonna get older. He wasn't good last year. I think he's gonna have another season where he just digress and not be good. Like don't get me wrong, you got Jimmy and those guys, but I just don't feel like. Then they paid Duncan Robinson just to be a bench warmer, so nobody knows what's gonna do with him. It's just like a shit show in Miami right now. It's like wow,
that was still wild though. Last year, like he got like $100 million.
And the big loss for them. Another thing that made me see that they lost PJ Tucker.
PJ did leave,
and he was key. He was like the best corner 3-point shooter in the league, and he played great defense.
So yeah, that's why I have Miami 6 too.
That's a huge missing piece right there. We can get into 5.
Jeremiah, top 5. Let's go.
At 5, I got the Heat. So I don't really disagree with a lot of what you guys said. The Heat and Cavs have been close. I think the Heat have a lot of what the Raptors have, where they just outperform their talent level year in and year out. Like Eric Spoelstra, one of the best coaches in the NBA, they're going to ride an elite defense. I think again. I don't see them not being a top 10 defense as well. Again, offensively, they kind of are great by committee. They move the ball and things of that nature. I just think they're in that Raptors sphere where they just seem to outperform their talent level year in and year out. So I got them at 5.
Yeah, I got the Heat at 5 as well, and similar reasons, but like I can't see them dropping off too much. They were the 1 seed last year. I think everybody got a little bit better, and they took a slight step back with PJ being out. And also, I just question, like, I know Jimmy Butler has been consistently healthy for the most part, but I feel like he misses, 15, 20 games, like, pretty consistently, right? Mm-hmm. And so, with him also missing some time again, probably this year, because he likes to load manage just like Kawhi, it seemed like. and PJ being gone, I think they're going to have a little bit of setback in the standings. I don't see them as one of those true contenders to me this year. I feel like they're more like they're considered a contender because they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but I don't think they have that superstar talent to really put them over the top. And so yeah, I'm putting them at 5.
Yeah, that's some great picks. I guess we kind of flip flopped again. I got Cleveland at 5. I love the Donovan Mitchell pickup. I have him and Darius Garland. I'm very high on Darius Garland. Like he's probably one of my not one of my favorite players in the league, but I love watching him play. And I think they're like a top 3 backcourt in the league right now. Like that's how like high I am on them. I mean, like we talked about Evan Mobley, and I'm blanking right now. Jared Allen anchoring that defense. They still have Isaac Okoro, who's going to be great defense. They re-signed Ricky Rubio, who's really good for them and setting up Evan Mobley last year.
That was a huge loss last year when he got hurt.
Yeah, and they went picked up Rondo to approximate that. It didn't really work out as good as they hoped. And I want to see another year of Karis LeVert coming off the bench with them. He kind of bounced around. He was with Brooklyn, then he was with the Pacers. Then he came to Cleveland mid-season. So I want to see him, full through training camp with them. He can, because Karis LeVert is a guy who can give you, like, if you sleep, he can give you 30. Like that's how much of a microwave he is. And I like some of the pieces. They still got D Wade over there. They still got Jetty Osman. Like I got watch Jetty come in as a rookie because he played with LeBron, and just watching his improvement is pretty great to see. But yeah, I'm high on Cleveland. I think they can be like a very tough force. Yeah, they can be like a very formidable force in the East. And yeah, that's why I got 5.
Yeah, we flip flopped. Also, I have Cleveland 5 for the same reason. I don't think they're a top 3 backcourt, but I'm really high on Donovan Mitchell and Darius. Like DJ especially. Like I love like his game is so smooth. Like being a ball player and watching him, like it's so smooth. Like how he's so poised under pressure and like stuff like that. He just like he don't with Darius Garland. Me watching him, he don't let the defense like.
Speed him up.
Speed him up. Like it's almost like Luka, but he's pretty fast still. Like he don't let like them pressing or sitting two at him be like, oh, let me get off the ball. He's just like controlling them poise. Like, all right, I got this. Let me like he know how to get out. Like he's like a legit like 20 and 10 player. They can get the job done. Yeah, along
and he's
with
only
Allen
getting better too.
And those guys, and so. I'm big on them. Like I'm gonna be tuned in a lot on Cleveland this year, watching a lot of their games. Cause like also like Desmond said, I love watching Darius Garland play like a lot.
Yeah. So real quick before Jeremiah can reconnect, so you say you don't have him as a top 3 backcourt. Like so right now the only backcourts I have ahead of them, like when healthy and everything. I still have Steph and Clay up there, mostly because of Steph, but everything Clay can do when he's right, like as a great defender and a knockdown shooter. And after that, I mean, we see how they fell off in the playoffs, but you still got Chris Paul and D Book up there. Like they have formidable backcourt. They play well with each other. They're both efficient players.
And I really like because they're better than Trey and Mary. Like, cause they're better than Trey and Mary.
And you have some other good backcourts. Kind of blanking right now, but you got Russ and Beverly. No, I'm just playing.
That's a damn good backcourt right there. Russ and Beverly, like that's gonna be maybe top 5 this year.
Nah, to me, if they're not 3, they're 4. But yeah, not to me with the Cavs. If their backcourt's not top 3, then they're at least like top 4. They're definitely top 5 for sure. But yeah, they I think that the only backcourt you could argue that's better would probably be either Trey.
Yeah, Trey and DeJounte.
And then if we're gonna get into it later. And if what I think is gonna happen this year, then you could possibly argue this backcourt's better too, which would be Harden and Maxey. But that's still going to be up for the bit.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to get into that later.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that.
At 4, I got the Celtics. I think that the Ime situation is a bigger deal. Like just from a basketball standpoint, I think he was a really big key to them being as great as they were last year. I love the Malcolm Brogdon addition. I think it's going to take the ball out of Tatum's hands as a playmaker more, which is good for him. I think he's a more natural scorer. Again, I think the 3 teams that I have above them just got better. It's really that simple to me. I'm not super low on them, like the players, but again, I think the combination of the Ime thing, they're gonna have a brand new coach, brand new voice, plus, yeah, it's tough. The top four is crazy. The top four is tough, but I got Celtics at 4, man.
All right, so for me, and I'm not so surprised. I'm a little surprised that you have the Celtics at 4. I understand like Ime like swung their season last year. Like they went from out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
to,
after that, when it was a new year, it was a new Boston team. Cause I vividly remember us being on the phone like these dudes suck. Like,
Yeah, because we used to bet on them, and you would take Tatum and then Brown to go off. and say, okay,
I
I'm
was
gonna take
like,
Brown.
I'm done with these
Brown
guys,
said then
bro.
Tatum go off.
that was one of the biggest things. Both the Jays, neither one of the Jays would play consistently well at the same time. Right? It would always be like one Jay would play really good, and then we didn't see that once Ime took over. We didn't see that the rest of the year until the finals, unfortunately. But yeah, like I'm a little surprised, but I understand the logic though, because we're gonna see for real how big of an impact Ime was on that team. And also, we're going to see how much of a superstar Jason Tatum is, because if you are a legit superstar, like you can carry your team without like your coach. Like you should be able to like keep them at that level. For me, I have a team that I'm very skeptical on. The Brooklyn Nets. I have them at number 4. Obviously, that's much better than they were last year. They're going to have a full year with Ben Simmons, and hopefully a full year with Kyrie. No sabbaticals. COVID thing is done. Hopefully he's not taking no breaks. So we're going to see how they mesh together. And hopefully KD can stay healthy. Like he's got, last 2 seasons he's played like 60-ish games around there. He hasn't really been consistently healthy since the Achilles injury. I'm still kind of not sure that's going to happen. He got to prove it to me. He got to show me he's going to play like close to a full season. And if I factor in that KD's going to miss maybe another 15, 20 games this year, then I got to also look at this potential Kyrie absence for maybe another 10, 15 games this year, right? And it could just be for injury, because Kyrie's also not the most healthy dude as well. He'll have like ankle injuries here and there. So I'm already going into the season like both those dudes going to miss 10 to 15 games at least. That's how I'm looking at it, right? And then Ben Simmons is a huge question mark, right? So we don't know what we're going to get out of Ben Simmons. He hasn't played basketball in a full year. We saw him in the preseason. We saw some good things, but we still saw a lot of the same Ben Simmons problems that we've seen.
He got fouled
I know,
out,
like,
if I'm not mistaken, last game.
He fouled out. He's been putting up I think he's been averaging now it's only preseason, but he's putting up like 6 or 7 points a game or something like that in preseason.
He had like 6 points and like 6 fouls.
Yeah, he's still getting like he's gonna average like 8 to 10 assists. Like he should. There's no way he shouldn't average 8 to 10 assists with KD and Kyrie on the team, right? So I feel like that's a given. But I'm still questioning his free throw shooting, especially in the crunch time, especially going to the playoffs, because that literally cost him a playoff series. Let's not forget. Like if he just could have shot free throws at his regular season clip, they would have beaten the Hawks and they would have made it to the conference finals. This man shot 33% in the playoffs at the free throw line. 33%. He went from 60%, which
that's a little below average for the 3-pointer.
He went from 60% in the regular season, which is not good. But that's like, okay, like, you can get by with like occasional big guy shooting 60%. You can get by. But your lead guard that's going to have the ball in their hands, making decisions, you can't. You got to worry about him going to the free throw line and shooting low 30s. Like that's going to be a problem. And he got to prove it to me going into the playoffs, going into for the rest of the season. Everyone talks about his inability or lack of shooting aggression when it comes to just in the game, which is a problem. Don't get me wrong, that's still going to be a problem because they're going to play off him. They're going to double KD, especially some of the good teams. We're going to see them focus in on KD when he's on the court, and that help man's going to be coming off of Ben Simmons. In transition, he's great, but in the half court, I'm very concerned about that as well. But people don't talk enough about his free throw shooting. Like that's fundamental stuff. That's unacceptable. That's inexcusable. You cannot be shooting as a guard that's going to have the ball in your hand so much. 30%, 33% from the free throw line. No, like so. I'm putting them at 4. Putting them at 4 mostly because those question marks. They got to prove it to me. And so that's the Nets are number 4 for me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Drew. I don't really want to go too in depth on the whole Ben Simmons thing, but I have them at 4. That's a team who who I can see being first. Actually, I just like the other three teams ahead of them. I feel like they have less questions to answer. But as far as the fit and everything, but I think Ben Simmons can be a great fit for them. It wouldn't be surprised if the Nets end up in the finals for me. I just have them fourth. I mean, you touched on Ben Simmons a lot. I just want to talk a little bit about Steve Nash. Him as a coach, I don't really believe in him yet. I know he kind of been dealt a bad hand, especially with like the injuries and the whole Kyrie situation thing. But there's been times when he needs to step up as a coach and he didn't. And he's not shown himself to be a good coach. Not saying he's bad, but he's not showing himself to be a good coach.
I got a question on Steve Nash. You just reminded me something. What's the most memorable thing as a coach Steve Nash is known for so far as a Brooklyn Nets coach? What's the most memorable thing?
I remember him hugging KD after KD had that historic game. That's the only thing.
Literally saving them, basically, like saving the team, because he literally had to play out his mind. Like they weren't. It wasn't no offensive structure. It was just KD. Yeah. Please take over and save us this game. And,
Was that game against Atlanta?
No, it was the playoffs.
Milwaukee.
That was the game 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when
against Milwaukee, but
when he was
it's game 5. It was game 5. Because if I was at home, game 6 was in Milwaukee, and then game 7 was back in Brooklyn.
Because they lost game 6 in Milwaukee.
Yeah, but yeah, I just I don't know, like every team you kind of look at that has won championship, you can say this guy's a good coach. You don't have to say he was great or historic, but like he's a good coach. And now when I'm looking at like Steve Nash, I don't see it, and especially with the whole thing with KD and how he wanted the coach out, he wanted the GM out, all these other things. It's questions involved. Now they could patch that up and possibly win a championship. Don't get me wrong, but just because of talent and everything that they have. But for right now, just for the regular season, I can see them. I got them finishing fourth.
Same. We all agree with that. I have Brooklyn fourth too. Like biggest is Ben Simmons. I don't know. Like I like Ben Simmons. Like, but I just don't know what you're gonna get with him. You don't know what. Kyrie can retire tomorrow, so you never know. Sometimes you want to hoop. Sometimes you just want to be like, forget it. So yeah, I got Brooklyn. I like the additions they got, but I feel like the teams I got ahead of them are better. I trust them more.
All right, so on to the top.
Yeah, fair enough. I got the Nets at 3. So I don't disagree with a lot of what you guys said. I do think that Ben Simmons in a regular season is going to be a really strong addition for them. I imagine a world where he's their de facto point guard, probably going to lead the team in assists, I should say. We saw KD last year in the playoffs have to do that, have to play playmaker and score and struggle really, really bad. I think Ben will help alleviate some of that. Defensively, he's the best defender on the roster. To me, it's not even close. They also added Royce O'Neal on the wing, so KD's not gonna have to do so much on the wing defensively as far as guarding other teams, his best players night in and night out. And I really like the way they've been using Ben this preseason. They added a new offensive coordinator. I can't remember his name. It was some dude who was coaching over in Europe, so he's like running the offense this year compared to the last couple of seasons. It's been Nash. And I like what they're doing offensively so far in the preseason. So for all those reasons, I'm probably a little bit higher on them than a lot of people. But I think regular season, Ben is going to be a really strong addition.
I have a question. What do you think about, because I know a lot of people are on the Ben Simmons thing. So a lot of people are saying that Ben Simmons could just feel like for the Warriors, kind of be for the Nets, that Draymond Green role. Do you buy that? I don't know if I fully buy that, but what do you think about him being like the Nets Draymond Green?
Offensively, there's a lot of truth to that. I think, especially you saw because the way teams play Draymond and the way teams play Ben, they really sag off him. So when Draymond and Ben are getting into those dribble handoffs, Kyrie and KD are going to be able to get free looks in the mid-range, free looks from 3. So from that standpoint, I don't think Ben is the defender that Draymond is. So from that standpoint, I don't. But offensively, I see it. Offensively, I really do see
I
it.
agree. he gotta show me that he could be like a small ball 5 rim protector like Draymond. I don't see that physicality from Ben Simmons. That those defensive instincts to be like, I want to like guard in the paint and I want to like hustle and protect the rim. I haven't seen that from him yet. If he starts showing that changes everything for me. If he starts showing that, but I just don't know if he can do that. I don't know if he's a Draymond Green on defense yet. He's now on the perimeter, absolutely. Like he's better than Draymond, but that's my big question as well there. For me, I have it as the 3 seed. I actually have the Bucks, and the reason why I still think Giannis is, and we're gonna get into this later, but I still think Giannis is the best player in the league. Which I don't know if y'all agree or disagree on that.
I agree.
But I think that they're gonna probably not go as hard in this regular season, and I think that Middleton's going to be out probably. They haven't said when he's coming back. I think he's going to miss the beginning of the season. Like I don't know what time he's coming back.
Yeah, I know he hasn't played any preseason yet. But
they said that they have they don't have a specific timetable set, so he could miss maybe the first 10 games. Who knows? So that's a question mark. And they didn't look that good in the preseason. I'm not going to really make a big deal of that because that's not what they're worried about. But I do think that like we're going to see a similar thing. Like last year they were the 3 seed last year, I believe too, or were they the 3 seed?
Yeah, they were 3. It came right down to the wire, and they probably would have ended up playing the Nets in the first round, but Boston took the number 2. Like they played to win.
So I see them being about the 3 seed again this year. Still think that they're going to be a contender, and they could be one of the teams in the finals win this whole thing. But as far as regular season, I'm going with 3 seed for the Bucks.
Yeah, I completely agree. I got Milwaukee number 3. I have no questions about them as a team. They do have like some health concerns. I know there was Giannis was hurt last year. Brook Lopez missed a chunk of the season. Drew Holiday, I believe, was hurt, and now coming into this season, Chris Middleton's already hurt. I feel like they're going to be back and everything, but I trust the coaching staff. I trust their supporting unit, and they have the best player in the NBA, and everything like fits well around him. They have the shooting, and this guy rushed a lot in the preseason. Carter, I really like him, and I think they're going to be they're definitely like one of the at the top of the championship threats. So having them at 3, I have no concerns about them. I just feel like they're gonna be a great team. May not win as many games as who I have 1 and 2. Just because I feel like the other teams are like young and healthier and stuff like that. But I got Bucks at 3.
Me, I got Boston at 3. Partly because the whole coaching situation. Me being again a ball player, like having a coach like that, like especially the type of coach he was, and having somebody who played that game, it said like it means a lot to like players, like especially in basketball. I feel like you have to be someone with a basketball background or like been around the game to be able to coach it, and not only him like playing it, like he was like a decent role player or whatever. But man, I feel like that coaching is going to be it's bigger than what a lot of people making it seem. Like I feel like the coach that they got, he gonna be good, but like them missing him is gonna be. But like I still feel like they're a contender out the East. Like they're a good team, but especially with the addition of Malcolm and those guys. But and Robert, I don't know the timetable with him, but I know he's not. They say he won't be playing the season opener, but I don't know how.
He should come back, but Robert Williams.
I forgot about that. He's gonna miss you know what? Yeah, they could actually. Yeah, so they could be a little bit lower.
I have them 3 right now with the coach, and then the whole thing with Robert. Like I know they have like Al and Grant, but I mean the timeline that's a big piece, especially in the regular season for that Boston team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, I have the Sixers at 2. James Harden, he's really the key here. He looks to be in a lot better shape than he's been in the past few seasons. I think if you get Joel Embiid at a similar level that he was at last year, and you get a Harden that's actually an All NBA level player, like he like we expected they were going to get. Added PJ Tucker, got an extra year under Doc. I like the chemistry. Again, to me, Harden's the piece. If we get top 10 player Harden, to me, they're going to be one of the best teams in the league. So, and he's looked really good. He's looked slimmed down. He looked healthy for the first time since maybe he injured his hamstring in Brooklyn that first year.
I agree.
This is probably the best he's looked. So, yeah, I got the Sixers at 2.
So, I actually have the Celtics at 2. But I'm gonna get into the Sixers a little bit later. But yeah, I have the Celtics at 2. So much. This is a big thing on Jason Tatum for me. I feel like if he takes another step this season, and I feel like he's going to. Wait, he just cut out? But I feel like if he takes another step, I think that we're gonna see, as a team, him show that he's one of those guys. Like I feel like he's like right at that superstar level, but I feel like he hasn't solidified that for me. I know they just made the finals, and people are like, wait, how can you say that, right? But the way he looked in the finals, I feel like he should be on a mission this year, right? To show that he's like, there's no question. I'm a superstar. I'm here. I'm one of those guys, and that means having an MVP level season, right? I don't think he's going to win MVP, but I feel like that's what he should be doing this year. He should be having an MVP level season. Like he needs to show that he's a leader. Jason Tatum, and. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a big thing for them this year. Like him taking another step forward, because I know a lot of people even question, and I don't know if you guys are one of these people, but people even question if he's the best player on that team. I've heard people argue yeah, I know right.
People question it. I don't think it's a question, but
yeah,
especially how that finals ended.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People question if Jaylen Brown might be better than Tatum. I don't believe that, because I think that Tatum's just a more versatile offensive player with what he can do, especially like one-on-one. But but I think that him showing that clear separation, that he is the best player on that team and with his level of play, I think that's going to be a big thing for them this year. I don't think that they're going to be. I'm just going to go with that. They're going to be the second seed, the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing in response to that. Like, I think you had him at 2. Somebody had him at 3. I had him at 4. To me, the difference between 2 and 4 is going to be Jason Tatum. Is he a clear top 10 superstar, bona fide, or is he maybe upper All-NBA level like he was last year? I'm a little bit more on the pessimistic side when it comes to him. So I think that's probably why I have him closer to 4 than 2. But I agree with you. That's really what's going to determine whether the Celtics can win a chip and take that next step.
I'm a fan of Jason Tatum, and I'm probably hopeful, but I am also skeptical. I am probably, like, if I'm really being honest, I am very skeptical about his what he'll ultimately become. Like, is he going to be a top 5 guy in the league? I'm a little bit skeptical. I don't know about that. I don't know if he's going to be that guy, but I would like him to be that, because I like his game, and he's an easy player to root for me. But we're gonna see.
Yeah, for my number 2, just like Drew, I have the Celtics. I love the way that they got together and they ended that season last year, the run that they made. I know they were missing Middleton, but that series against Brooklyn was like very impressive for me. I don't care what people say about the whole, the Nets were missing Ben Simmons. I don't care. That was tremendous. And they brought in a piece and gave up players who weren't even in the rotation. And they brought in a major piece, a piece that helped their team, that what they needed in Michael Brogdon. And I think, speaking of Jason Tatum, I'm a huge fan of Jason Tatum. He's one of my favorite players in the league right now. And I'm more on the optimistic side of that. I think the fact that he made it that far last year, but fell short of his goal, that, like, seeing the type of player he is, I think he's going to come back even better. And I may be giving away a bit of my pick for later, but I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, I got Boston at 2. Like the coach that they have now, Jason Tatum, he's spoken highly of him. I feel like all the players respect their new interim coach that's going to be there. So yeah, and that Malcolm Brogdon pickup was huge for me. And like Cecil said, like they've been missing Robert Williams, but I don't think it's going to be like that long. he's gonna come back and he's gonna anchor that defense. They're gonna be a top 5 defense again. I got Boston there too.
For me, I have Philly. I have 76ers too. I can see them being one, I can see them being one, but I have them two right now. I feel like this team, again, depends on James Harden. You don't know if we're gonna get, the honey bun one or the one that's actually want to hoop. I like the 76ers. The addition with Harrell and PJ, and I think they got Daniel House if I'm not mistaken. The MVP caliber type player, and Joel Embiid and Maxey, hey, he about to. This the season right here, so I got them. I'm big on them. I can definitely see them being a contender in the East.
Number 1 pick. All right.
Number one.
Number 1 seed.
Yeah, so number 1 in the East, I got the Bucks. Number 1 thing, they got the best player in the world. I expect Chris to come back probably, 15, 20 games in. There's no timetable right now, but I expect him not to miss too much time. If he can play 60 games, I think they'll be right there. Drew is going to be back. He's good. Last year, I think some of the reason that they weren't as good early on was Brook Lopez missed a lot of the season, and their defense kind of fell off a little bit. They were more like league average rather than he's starting the season back. He's hopefully going to play 65, 70 games. So I expect their defense to, stay near the top of the league. But ultimately, they got this guy named Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the best player in basketball, and especially in the regular season, he's a wins machine. So I'm gonna go Bucks at 1.
Gotcha.
I can't knock that pick. I can understand that completely. I'm going with the Sixers, and yes, I do think that Harden's going to be back to. I don't think he's going to be prime level, but I think he's going to still be like what he was maybe that year in Brooklyn before he got that hamstring injury. I think we can see that level, like maybe 24 points a game, 10 assists, 6, 7 rebounds, but efficient. Last year, everyone's looking at his averages and he averaged 22 and 10. But his efficiency was not what we know from James Harden. It was terrible. He was shooting the ball, barely could get a lift on his shot. Did not look like the same guy. Preseason, we've seen a little bit, but he looks a lot healthier. He has burst off the dribble, which is a huge thing because he just did not have that burst at all last year. If he could be that consistently, I think they're going to be trying for the 1 seed as well. That's another thing. I think that Embiid, he's saying that he's not really playing for the MVP this year. I don't think that he's playing for the MVP. I think the way of playing for it is getting that 1 seed. Because if they can get that 1 seed, that's pretty much how you get those MVPs now, for the most part. I mean, of course, we've seen Jokic kind of throw that trend off, which, I don't agree with him but we don't go into that. But basically, that's usually how you get that MVP. And I think that they have a lot more depth. Last year, they were playing Furkan Korkmaz, which you don't really want on the court for most games. You don't want to have George Niang be a regular rotation player. Niang was in the playoffs playing. You want him to be your 10th guy, 11th guy, right? Now he is that. They got Daniel House. They picked up PJ, who's going to be a huge difference maker. People are underrating that pickup because he's 37 and he's getting older. Now, PJ is still going to be able to do what they need for him to do. Stand in the corner, hit threes, and lock in on D. He's going to be able to do that. Tyrese Maxey, I think, is going to be borderline all-star level player this year. Not saying he's going to be an all-star.
Sonic Max.
He don't got that. Yeah, I call him Sonic Max. But he don't got that name recognition, and he's not gonna. It's going to be too many. It's going to be deep out there in the East to make the all-star team. It's going to be hard. But and they're going to have Harden's going to make it, Embiid's going to make. I don't see him making it like that. But as far as his level of play, he's going to be I think he's going to average around 20 points a game. He was shooting. This is what's crazy to me. He made more improvement in one off season than Ben Simmons made his whole career. Go look at Tyrese Maxey came into the league. This man shot 30% or something his first. I think he shot maybe worse than 30% his rookie year. Last year he shot 42% from 3 on pretty good volume, 42%, right? And his shooting got even better as Harden got there, right? Because he's getting easier shots. Yeah. Another year, he's going into his 3rd year. Yeah, he's going to be able to. He's going to be, and he's super quick with the basketball. Really good finisher. I'm not gonna say Kyrie level, but he kind of reminds me of Kyrie a little bit with some of his finishes. Right. So that's the big thing, and Harden having that close to, I guess, all NBA level type of season. I think they're going to get the 1 seed. I think they're going to be trying to gun for that 1 seed. So that's my number one. That's my number 1 seed.
Yeah, I completely agree. I got Philly number 1. Big thing, a big reason why is I feel like they're going to have a full season with Harden to get acclimated and everything. I feel like Harden's going to be much better. He's going to move better. He's going to have some of that burst back, like you said. The second reason why is I love the addition of Daniel House and PJ Tucker. Somebody who's going to go PJ Tucker. Somebody's going to hustle, play great defense, and space the floor out. And he's already played with James Harden and have great chemistry together. And it's a perfect fit for them, what they need. And the third reason why is Tyrese Maxey. And I believe Tyrese Maxey is going to be a first-time All-Star this year. Like, that's how I feel like Philly is going to be one of those teams that have like 3 All-Stars, and like their record is going to be so good. It's kind of a little bit similar. You remember that year Atlanta had like 4 All-Stars make it.
It was only because that was bad. That was they shouldn't have 4 All-Stars.
Yeah, but that's how good. Like I think he's that clear number 3 now.
The Eastern Conference was. That tells you how bad the Eastern Conference was, right there.
Yeah, but he's gonna be that clear. Like I just feel like he may make it over a guy like DeJounte Murray because he's gonna be like very efficient. He's gonna be on like a high seed team. You know, Philly fans are gonna love him. They're gonna vote for him. Different things like that. But he's like I love Tyrese Maxey. He's efficient player. He plays well on the ball and off the ball. He's so fast. Like I love watching him play. And they're gonna be one of those teams that have like 3 All-Stars, and he's steadily improving every single year. Even when I watch him in the preseason, I know it's preseason, but he was a beast. Like this dude just came out and was just coming for people's heads in the first half. I'm like, wow, this dude here. But yeah, that's I got Philly. I feel like a team coached by Doc Rivers is going to be successful in the regular season regardless.
For me, I mean, Jeremiah said really everything. I have Milwaukee, like, they got that guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he only getting better, like, I'm saying, like, the team, they pretty deep, too. Like, not deep as, like, far as, like, a lot of teams are, but, like, they got players on that Milwaukee team who know they role and, like, how to play it with, like, guys like Bobby who bring energy off the bench and Pat who bring the energy off the bench and just, like, different players that can, you know, all like show their experts of the game. So, and then with them having Drew and Middleton, like I got Milwaukee number 1. I feel like they're gonna win some games that, you know, of course, be contenders out the East.
Understandable. All right, so that was our Eastern Conference predictions. It took a long time. We had some technical difficulties.
We good though now. We good.
Yeah, so let's hope this when we get to the West, we good. I mean, I guess I can kick it off.